Coming up on this episode of Up for Debate. That's not right. Don't panic. We've got tech news. It's a show, including Facebook getting stories like everyone else. We also have Samsung's explosive announcement, but not in the way you're thinking. Twitter tweaks, taking the oath, and so much more. God damn it, eventually we'll do it right. It's Don't Panic. We're going to start now. This is Don't Panic, episode number 162, recorded April 3rd, 2017. Under oath. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this, the first time we've done it tonight, episode of Don't Panic. I'm Sean Jennings, joined by two guys who are such seasoned pros, nothing shakes them. Dan Miller, Colby Rabideau. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you. Sean, fun fact, did you know that Under Oath is a Christian post-hardcore band from Tampa, Florida?
I had no idea. I love Tampa. That place is great. I had no idea.
Indeed.
Well, I think... Yes, Dan.
There's a Facebook Live Apple TV app. Did you know that, Sean?
Stop that.
Yeah,
I had
crazy.
no idea. That's crazy.
Get right out of town.
I know. That's bizarre. You want to know something else, Dan? We were streaming live on Periscope for the first time ever, but we're not anymore because I'm afraid I'm going to break more things. So don't go to Periscope. You can't watch us there, but we appreciate the folks joining us live on Facebook right now, facebook.com/Don'tPanicShow, especially our number one tech support fan, Dan's mom, who saved us from doing an hour-long show without hearing those two guys. So we appreciate that. If you're watching live, of course, comment or give us a call, 508-644-8324. We appreciate it. We've got a... Look at that. Someone gave us a heart. You can heart things on Facebook. Shout out to Gustavo Vargas.
I know him.
He's
That's
hearting
Gus
us.
from HubSpot. Dan, you met him before.
Ah, okay.
Sounds like a
Awesome.
swell gentleman, and we appreciate him and everyone else watching.
For the second time.
Actually, fun fact, Gus is from Tampa. Speaking of Tampa, I
Tampa
wonder if he's an
connection.
Under Oath fan.
Has
Yeah.
he gone to Under Oath concerts before?
I don't know.
Local
I can only
heroes.
assume yes.
Under oath. Yeah, Tampa's own. Oh, boy, we are off the rails.
So I have fun news. For the last 3 days, the brightness and volume sliders on the touch bar on my Mac Pro haven't worked. Like, they don't do anything when you touch them. You can touch them and it goes into like the touch state, but it doesn't do nothing.
Now it's just a bar.
No, it's just like the other stuff works, like the mute and unmute button works. I just can't change like the level of the volume.
Great.
Which is I mean, I guess that's not what I...
What do you do?
I mean, I go into the menu bar thing. For the brightness, it's harder because I have to open the settings pane for the displays and then change the brightness.
Like a chump.
I'm pretty sure I just need to restart my computer, but like, come on.
Oh, you haven't restarted it? Yeah, that is pretty lame.
This is what happens when you're a cutting-edge technology adopter, Colby.
Right.
Who'd have
So,
thought? Touch
yeah, what is
screens,
your
so
verdict? If it were working, what would be your verdict on the touch bar? Having had a couple months, I think, to use it?
Yeah. Not great, unfortunately. It doesn't... I mean, it's still the case that not very many other apps have special, like, buttons or anything. With the exception of the Apple apps. Like, it's kind of neat, the ones that have it, but I haven't found anything that I do that is particularly useful with it. I have a lot of accidental touches.
That's what she said. What?
It's just, I think it's just like a place that used to be safe to like, like rest your fingers or whatever, and it just all of a sudden is not, but there's no way to know that it's not. Like, it doesn't feel any different really, which is unfortunate. Real-time questions from Gus on Facebook. He asked, how's the escape key for Vim? The answer to that is that it's terrible. So I had to retrain myself to use the other leave edit mode key combo, which I think is Control left bracket. So I press an extra button now. but it works. It's fine. That part surprisingly has not been the worst part. Actually, the worst part was Siri, because I would always touch Siri and then it would pop up. But I just disabled it, so now it's gone. So now I just accidentally touch like the mute button, which is usually okay. But alas, we'll see what the future brings. I'm gonna have this computer for like 2 years or 2.5 years. But
as a computer, outside of that, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, the computer's great. I really like the big trackpad. That's nice.
Yeah, that does look really nice.
Did you guys see the patent Apple filed, where they patented the idea of taking your iPhone, docking it into your laptop, and using the iPhone as your touchpad?
Oh, weird.
I don't know why that's an advantage or what extra you get using that. I guess because it's a screen, you could put something on, showing in it.
I guess, yeah. Like, it's a screen and it has the like haptic feedback thing now.
True, yeah, and it would charge it, right? And I
think that's what the touch bar needs is the force touch thing, like the click thing.
So you have to give it a little pressure for it to work.
Right. Then it would be fine.
Makes sense.
But it doesn't have that.
I'll buy that.
It's just a very thin iPhone.
Well, speaking of gimmicky tech purchases, I need you guys to stop me from buying something. Now, this isn't the first time I've asked you to do this, but I really need your help because I found a Kickstarter.
It'll be the first time we succeeded if we do succeed.
And I'm really praying you do. So you may remember, this was over a year ago. We talked about the Pico Brewer. Do you remember this? It was the little brew. It was like the Keurig for brewing beer, and it's a machine. You'd put it on your counter, and they'd send you the little hop packs and grain packs, and you'd put it in and it'd brew your beer. You vaguely remember this? It's like the size of a microwave, and you'd put it on your counter. Good news, they're back with a smaller, cheaper one, because that one was like $700 or $800, right? They've got a new one. It's $300, which is like on the verge of reasonable territory. It's called the Pico C. C for, I don't know, cheaper. I don't know what the C stands for. But it, like I said, is
it colored? Does it come in like the pastel iPhone C colors?
That would be a good idea, but no, it comes in one color, black. But you can get the packs of all the different beers, and you buy them and you put them in, and you push the button and it brews beer, fresh beer.
Oh, how long does that take?
Well, they say the brewing takes 2 hours, but then you have to wait a week to 2 weeks for it to carbonate.
Jeez.
So, but there's no real... I mean, you can do forced carbonation in 36 hours, but it takes some extra equipment to do that.
Now, you've brewed your own beer.
I have, and it sucks. It's incredibly hard and not fun. Okay. I like drinking it, but the problem is when you have to boil it yourself and filter it yourself and do all the different bits. This thing does it all in one. It's in one contained machine. It has a smartphone app, guys. You can track how long your beer is, how long it's going to take before you can drink it on your phone. I mean,
my friend has a smartphone app connected sous vide machine, so you can set the temperature of the water on your.
Yeah.
I watched a YouTube video about sous vide cooking because I didn't understand what it was, and I thought it was so weird that like you have to you do it. You cook the meat you're cooking, and then you have to take it out and put it in a pan. Otherwise, it won't taste like anything. I thought that was very strange.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because it doesn't have... Like, if you're making a steak, for example, if you, sous vide cook it, it's cooked perfectly through. Like, it's cured, right? There's no, I mean, it's cooked, but it doesn't, the thing that gives steak the steaky flavor. There's a name for, the reaction that happens when you, char meat. And that's what gives it the tasty meat flavor. And that's what you want to taste. And if you just ate it out of the sous vide cooker, it doesn't have that flavor at all. So it wouldn't be very tasty to eat it.
Yeah, we did eggs, and those were the best looking egg yolks that came out of those eggs I've ever seen. They looked fake. It looked like like some food commercial, fake gelatin that they're passing off as egg yolks.
Nice. Did you do
Anyways.
like? Were they like soft boiled or
I
medium boiled?
guess. I don't know.
Was it still runny?
No.
Oh,
Hard boiled.
So
That
they're
shit
hard.
was. I mean, the yolk part was runny.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, yeah. But the non-yolk part was firm.
Ooh, firm
Mm.
egg whites, my favorite. So I'm not hearing anyone say no. So I think I should go
What?
pick this up.
Sean, you can make
Was
beer
it-
in like a plastic bucket. You don't
I
need to
know,
buy.
but this is easy. You just pop it in and hit the button, and it makes beer. Colby, like that for me is the selling point. I've tried
see.
doing it the manual way. It doesn't work.
I mean, this is crazy, but they have these stores where you can like go and exchange like money for beer that like professionals made.
Colby introduces
like-
me to the concept of like a gas station.
Exactly.
Be like, you can do it in
Like,
many places.
If you want the great taste of beer without like the hassle of having to make the beer.
They'll make it for you. This is a good business. How do we get in on this game? This is smart. I had no idea. They should be telling me I don't have to bake all this bread I've been eating. All right. I can see where this is going. Shut down. Not getting the Pico Brewer. Damn you guys. Once again, preventing me from making bad decisions.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Next time. I'll get him next time. I'll just make Colby buy me beers.
Just
Payback.
get the Colby's Dad beer.
Payback. Wait till
The
these
Scar Special.
When did that actually?
wait till these guys get to Houston. All the Corona lights they can drink by the bucket load.
The Sklogger.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't sound good. I'll come up with one.
Oh boy.
We should talk about tech news.
Yeah, that's usually what we do here on the program. And there is some in the rundown here. Wasn't it? Oh, look, Nancy Miller's sad. I don't know why she's sad.
Maybe because she couldn't hear us.
She just scored us as sad, though. She really doesn't want me to buy the Pico Brewer. She's weeping for the money I'm going to burn on that thing. Yeah, no, we've got a bunch of stories here in the rundown. Facebook adding stories to their app. We've got Samsung's announcements, some Twitter updates, Oath.
Let's talk about the Facebook thing just so we can talk about all the jokes that came out of it.
I haven't heard any jokes, so I'm excited for where Dan's going.
Oh!
with this.
Oh my god.
I have
I
missed
only
this.
saw one, but it was pretty funny.
All right. Well, let me give the introduction, and then we'll laugh our behinds off. If you didn't hear, Facebook is adding stories because where else are you going to post stories on the internet? They are rolling it out to all of their users of their mobile apps. You probably already have it in yours at this point. It is on iOS and Android and has three parts: a redesigned in-app camera, a new feed of stories at the top of the news feed, and a private messaging feature called Direct. Let me try and explain to you. It's very similar if you've used Instagram stories or Snapchat stories. It's a similar concept where you take short videos or photos or images. They disappear 24 hours after you post them. You can decorate them with text, drawing stickers, animated filters, and then they compound one after another to essentially create a little mini story that people can play and view of your life. In the app, you'll see it right at the top. You've got all the little icons of the people who've posted stories. You can play theirs or post yours. You'll also have the ability, as I mentioned, to send a direct story to someone as an individual as well. That's basically the scoop. It's just Instagram stories or Snapchat stories. Same thing.
Yeah. So I posted the joke in the Don't Panic channel. The top of the image says, "Have you downloaded the new Excel update?" And then right above the spreadsheet is a bunch of circles with people's pictures in them.
Excel stories. That's really funny. Oh my. Yeah, no, I'm I thought I
It
knew
didn't
too
seem
much about.
ridiculous when Instagram had it, but doesn't the Messenger has it too, right?
Messenger has a version, yeah. Yeah, they do. So
Yeah.
there's at least
Now
4
it's
or
just-
5 places.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's a little out of control. I don't know of any human being who does enough interesting things in their lives to have that many stories. Or maybe that's just me.
Now, do you think has someone created yet an app that like like you post once to the app and it posts to all your stories?
I never.
No, those apps can't exist anymore,
Oh,
right?
bummer.
Yeah, a lot of the APIs shut those down.
Yeah.
Snapchat
I don't think
doesn't
any of
have
these-
any support for any kind of that stuff. Instagram does a little
Right.
bit. And Facebook has some, but I don't think if someone did, they'd be a zillionaire because that's a fantastic idea. But I don't think they'd ever like. I use IFT to do some of that now. When I post an image to Instagram, it automatically posts to Twitter. So via
Iftitita?
Yeah, to me, this update is interesting for a couple reasons. I think it is yet another reminder of how communication is shifting to the camera and away from text. And to see Facebook go that way is quite interesting. Twitter really, to me, is the last text-heavy social network still around. Somewhat, Facebook still, but, they're clearly going in that direction. The other thing is that I think the over-the-day narrative live is a piece of this too, where it's not you're just posting one thing at a time, but rather they want you to tell an ongoing story over a period of time. I think is a shift in how social networks expect you to engage with them.
Yeah. Seems crazy. Maybe. I don't know. I just feel like I don't have time for that. That's just me. I don't. Got a lot of other stuff to do. But maybe it's just that I'm not doing anything like that is prolonged enough to be interesting enough to post about over a long period of time. I don't know. It's weird. I've never posted anything to a story, which probably disqualifies me from speculating about what this means.
The concept to me is really good. Actually, in fact, I'm waiting. Someone needs to do a social network where they don't delete themselves. Like, to me, that's the most disappointing thing about stories when I use them on Snapchat or Instagram now, is that I think they would be interesting if they were saved and you can go back and watch them, because some of them are really good and really dynamic. Of course, I follow a lot of people who I'm not friends with. They're more, tech people or celebrities or, news sites or things like that, and get content that way.
Here's what each person should have, like, their own feed of stuff, and then all the people that you follow, you should get a feed of all of those feeds that you could scroll back chronologically through.
Oh yeah, that'd be it. It's something we can call it something like a news feed or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or activity feed.
That's really a timeline of sorts. That's really interesting.
A timeline.
Yeah.
And the key would really be the replayability, that you could go back to a point in time and see what was happening at that
Exactly.
time.
Like I could go to some kind of profile like page for you, Dan, and see all of the content you've posted over time.
Yep. I think that's a great idea. I think this could really revolutionize the social space.
I had a thought recently that just like Facebook is like what every social network will inevitably become. So like eventually all social networks become Facebook. But like that means Facebook will always win because Facebook was the first Facebook. And so naturally they're better at being themselves than any newcomers will ever be at being Facebook.
So you think all social networks will eventually they have to encompass everything? There is no niche social network?
I don't think so, at least not like the way that social networks become what they are now. Like maybe if we figure out a different way to do it or something. like a sustainable way of doing it that doesn't, require them to take gajillions of dollars from investors and then eventually figure out how to pay that back, or like how to make money in volumes enough to, like get a return on that investment. I don't know.
I think you're right, but I think it's because the Instagrams and the Snapchats of the world are too much in Facebook's lane. I'll give you a great example, LinkedIn. Facebook doesn't touch LinkedIn and vice versa because they're totally different purposes, but they have the same real basic functionality. So, and I think they will remain. So I think you can do separate niche networks. It's just that Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook, they're all competing, Twitter, they're all competing for the same audience, really. I think that's been Twitter's strength, really, is that it's been mostly people you're not friends with. And I think that's what's really helped them is you follow the the news sites and the tastemakers and all that of the world's on Twitter. You don't do that on Facebook. I think that's what's really helped Twitter manage to compete and not fall by the wayside. Yeah, I think you have to beat them on audience, not on functionality, because they will steal your functionality. So you have to hope they don't steal your audience. That's what's. If I was a Snapchat investor, I would be terrified because there's nothing proprietary about what Snapchat does that Facebook can't rip off. Now, sometimes they do a poor job. We all remember Slingshot, but I know I was a big Rooms user,
yes,
but
I was there for Slingshot.
Rest in peace, Slingshot. No, but I think I just think that that's you can't beat them. They're Goliath at that space.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I guess thinking about Snapchat too, the set of people you're friends with on Snapchat is probably a subset of the set of people you're friends with on Facebook. So, like, theoretically, there's no reason you couldn't do Snapchat and Facebook.
Yeah.
Glad I don't work at a social network.
It's a dying industry. No, it's very short-lived.
Speaking of dying industries, let's go under oath here and talk about AOL and Yahoo.
Yeah, I know. We all forgot they existed, didn't we? Well, good news. They're not going to exist much longer. As you folks may know, Verizon bought AOL quite a while back, and more recently is in the process of purchasing Yahoo. Certainly more the content side of Yahoo. There was a rumor going around. What are they going to do with these two properties once they finish purchasing Yahoo? Are they going to merge them? Are they going to sell off one? What are they going to do? It's now official. They are going to smash together Yahoo and AOL to form a new entity called Oath, a Verizon company. I love that. I love that logo. As Tim Armstrong, who you may know, the former, current AOL CEO, he tweeted, "Billion-plus consumers, 20-plus brands, unstoppable team. Take the oath, summer 2017." God, I love brands. So Oath coming to a computer near you. You can check it out.
I like when big companies try to conjure brands from nothing, like we can make this happen, but especially before now talk maybe it'll be a thing in 2 years or something, but it's so silly to talk about now because it's actually nothing.
It's literally just a name,
right?
Well, I don't think we ever talked on the show about Trunk, did we?
No.
Trunk. Kind of the baseline of terrible company names. Tribune Publishing, who owned the Chicago Tribune and the Los Angeles Times, big publishing company, last year changed their company name to Tronc. Tronc. Tronc.
Right, and it was going to be this whole synergy, digital. Yeah, I remember talking about that.
And they got a lot of shit about that for good reason, because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. So anyone sad about Yahoo? I'm sad. I think it's the end of an era. The Web 2.0 is we're officially beyond Web 2.0 at this point.
I mean, you think AOL is Web 1.0. I mean, we're these two brands together. It's amazing to see them fold in.
Maybe together they can get to Web 3.0. Yeah.
Their
Do you
powers
think that?
combined.
Do you think they'll rename like the Yahoo Sports Fantasy Football blah 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 stuff is pretty popular? Do you think that's gonna get renamed Oath Sports?
You'll log into Oath Mail and go to Oath News.
Oath Mail. Well, that's the thing. You can never change that. It's always going to be Yahoo. You can't change people's email addresses.
True.
So Yahoo's always going to live on in that way.
Yeah, my question, we don't know that much because this could just be like a technical financial stock market thing where they just give the umbrella company a name, but it doesn't actually change. Nowhere in here did they say they were folding the Yahoo and AOL names. They just say that the business is going to fold into a single entity. So it could just be an umbrella structure that encompasses the two brands. I mean, we really don't know for sure that they're shuttering AOL or Yahoo as brands. So it's hard to know. I mean, there are some places where those two overlap and some places where they don't. There's AOL Mail still exists and Yahoo Mail still exists. So do they smash that together under Oath Mail? I'd be surprised if they did. But it's hard to know for sure. We're a little early on.
Does AIM still exist?
I think so.
I think it does.
AOL.
Yeah. But it might be it might be web only. I don't know if they still have a desktop client anymore. AOL Instant Messenger.
Nope, download AIM OS 10.
Oh boy.
And they have Android and iPhone apps as well.
It says here, on March 3rd, 2012, AOL got rid of all the developing staff for AIM, effectively ending development of the application after 15 years. However, the service is still active and help support is still provided.
The iPhone app just got a release on a month ago, so
wow,
not everybody.
Oh, fun fact! You know the little guy, the little icon, the little yellow guy. His name is Running Man.
Very creative.
Yeah.
Cool.
AIM was definitely ahead of its time. Maybe I've mentioned this before, but AIM was the first social network.
Yeah.
Before anyone even knew what a social network was. The profiles, it was great.
You are not
Yeah,
wrong.
I think that's true.
I mean, it's. I think sometimes we forget just how ubiquitous AOL was at one point. I mean, AOL was the internet. That was it. I mean, there wasn't to your average consumer. It was AOL was the internet.
I remember getting those discs in the mail, and I asked my mom to use them, and she'd be like, "Absolutely not." And then eventually we did use them, and then at some point we got actual internet, not AOL.
Yeah, remember when everyone used to say, visit our website or AOL keyword. I mean that used to be a thing, and God, think of how many landfills are just full of those plastic discs nobody ever used.
Yeah, there were so many.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing to think, but it just goes to show in tech. I mean, things don't last. I mean, they really don't. People come and go. Facebook, talking to you. Who would have thought?
I only have one friend on AIM. Only one person logged on.
Wow. Is it the is it who's the MySpace guy who you had to be friends with?
Tom?
Tom.
No, it's not Tom.
It's not Tom. I never had a MySpace.
I don't know what my AIM username is.
Mine can't exist anymore. I know I don't have any of the email accounts it was associated with, so even if I wanted to recover it, I don't think I could. That was a long time ago.
I can get a free username? We can move the Don't Panic chat to AIM.
Oh, boy. Wow, that's a great way to get fans. Move our chat to AIM. Wow.
Alas. Pours one out for AOL.
Rest in peace. Long live Oath.
That's right.
That is right. All right, let's see. What else we got here, gentlemen?
Whoa, I haven't seen the pictures of this Samsung phone until just now.
Yeah, we don't talk. We kind of tend to like we get really. I find we get jazzed about Apple events and then blow off Samsung events, and I don't feel bad about that at all because they're really not as interesting. But I think this is worth talking about. So let's talk about it. The Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus, the latest from Samsung. They're available. So here's the scoop. I'll just give you a few stats. I won't get into it because there's a lot to share here. But, of course, two sizes. The 5.8 inch is the S8. The S8 Plus is 6.2 inches. And they have what they call an infinity screen with an aspect ratio of 18:9, which is kind of crazy. It's very awkward. But it does stretch edge to edge, and it doesn't have any physical buttons on the front. Which means that the bottom section of the screen is pressure sensitive, kind of like Force Touch. They call it the invisible home button instead of having physical buttons. So there's almost no bezel on the phone. Bezel? It has the same rear camera, but an improved front camera up to 8 megapixels. They use that for facial recognition in addition to fingerprint reading as a way to secure your identity, although the fingerprint reader is now on the back of the phone next to the camera. Let's see. It has a new battery, not the exploding one anymore. Good news, in case you were wondering. It's a 3,000 milliamp battery in the S8, 3,500 in the S8 Plus. Same size as the old phone, so they didn't try to increase it in an effort to keep them from exploding. Let's see. What else is there to note about this? It has...
Is an infinity screen like an infinity stone?
Yeah, you don't want Thanos to have yours, put it that way.
Right. Okay.
It does include the Bixby digital assistant, which is their version of Siri. You can ask it to do a bunch of normal stuff, but their big thing is you can use it to actually control the UI aspects of the phone. So you can say, Bixby, rotate a photo or take a picture or, change Dan's contact number to blah, blah, blah. And you can actually instead of touching the screen, you can talk to it. It will control the Samsung apps. Right now, only Samsung apps support it, but other people will be able to write their apps, so it integrates with Bixby. Yeah, that's pretty much. The other big thing was Samsung, what they call DeX, D-E-X. It's a dock for the S8 and S8 Plus that when you plug it in, it turns any full-size monitor into a PC-like experience. We've talked about a version of this with Microsoft. However, this is really just a play on Android. It's not Windows or anything like that it uses. So are we jazzed about the S8?
I mean, I'll give them that it looks pretty striking, I think. I did like a double take when I saw it. I don't know.
Did you do a spit take though?
It is waterproof, so
that nice whiskey you're drinking.
Yeah, I don't know if my
whiskey.
computer is waterproof, unfortunately. Or my microphone here. Yeah, I don't know. So there's no physical bits to the buttons at all? Like there's no...
In the front? No.
Right. Interesting. That sounds kind of hard. Maybe you don't need to use the home button as much.
No, Android phones have been like this forever, right?
Yeah, they've always had the option to, and some phones included a physical button, some didn't. I mean, they're talking about moving to this on the next iPhone, so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. It's the only way you're going to get more screen on the same physical size device.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like the bar for Samsung this round is pretty low, and like the bar is just that the phones don't explode.
Well, what is it? I had numbers up earlier as to the current distribution of the percentages of share of the different mobile devices. Because really, at this point, I mean, we've talked about this on the show before. At what point does do Android users stay Android users, Apple users stay Apple users, and they keep the same market share, and people who bought the last some Samsung phone buy the next one, and vice versa.
All right.
We'll never know.
I mean, maybe we'll know. I don't know. I think doesn't somebody keep track of that?
I'm sure that the Apple and Google do.
I think it's
Somehow. I don't know how you would keep track, actually. Well, you definitely, if you're
think of a
Google, you
couple
can
ways.
definitely know. You just look at who they log into Gmail as, which device.
It's
Yeah.
true.
But yeah, clearly I'm not that jazzed about.
no, you're not. What doesn't it have that you just there's nothing they could add
iOS.
that would make you okay.
No, I mean, I got so badly burnt by Android back in like 2012 that it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot.
Well,
And honestly, I haven't heard. From what I've heard from friends, it doesn't sound like they've gotten better. All Android users, especially those that are technically savvy, end up in this like Stockholm syndrome, where inevitably after like 8 months of the phone, it only lasts for like 10 hours, 12 hours of battery life. You have to wait a year and a half after the new operating system comes out to get it on your phone. If you get it at all. And it's like the small things too that think of I just picked an app today, which we'll talk about later. It's a cool game. And it's not on Android, and that's always how it is. The cool apps always come out on iPhone first, whether it's HBO Now or Super Mario. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing,
So
Yeah.
it would take a lot. It would have to be really cool.
I think just in general, not specific to Android necessarily, I don't know what the thing that a phone, what feature a phone could have that would make me say, wow, that's crazy. I feel like the last few years, phones have just sort of been incremental improvements, which is not necessarily bad. I like it. I use my phone all the time. But I don't know, I can't think of, we're at the point now where I can't really think of the thing that would blow my mind.
what
Actually, I can think of it. If the battery lasted 5 days to a week, that would blow my mind. It would be amazing.
it would also blow up in
Yeah.
your pocket, but that
Probably. Right.
Battery life and if they could actually kind of like the Apple thing we talked about, docking your phone and the computer, but if you could have if you could have a touch-based operating system that scales from a phone to a small laptop, and I think Android does do this, but the apps just aren't there. If there was actually support for it, then I would get in on that. And honestly, Google Assistant is as close as I can get to wanting to switch to an Android phone, because from what I've seen, it's really good. And it's not nearly as good on iPhone.
Well, but then let me
The
ask,
integration's not there.
to me then what I'm hearing is it's honestly these the iPhone and this S8, just as an example, are extremely comparable phones on paper. I mean, a few features here or there, but in the same way, I feel like I could hand either one of you a Windows PC or a Mac, and you could both comfortably go about your daily lives. Now, you probably have a preference one way or the other.
I don't know if that's true, but that would be a fun challenge. Maybe I'll take the Windows challenge.
I know I could do it, but I don't do. Again, you guys do more specialized stuff. But I feel like for your average person, they could accomplish all the same stuff they do on a Samsung as they do on an Apple. It's really just preference at this point. And it's little things like you guys mentioned. I think battery life, by the way, the one thing the phone manufacturers don't really seem to be all that worried about, because they keep making the phones thinner and thinner, and the batteries stay the same size.
No one else is doing it. They're all playing the same game, so it doesn't matter. It's not like there's an alternative.
Exactly. So I think I think that's how it's going to continue to be, is it's a preference. The problem is it's easy to change someone's mind with new features. It's hard to change someone's mind off of simply a preference. And so if you're Samsung or Apple, I don't know how you go about stealing customers from the other side. That's why they're so focused on third worlds and emerging markets who don't have a preference yet, right? That's why they're dumping a lot of money into China and these places who are now just picking out what phones they want. In the U.S., they're going to keep selling to the people they've always been selling to. Maybe that's okay. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess as long as they keep doing it.
I mean,
like, keep satisfying my preference.
They're both fabulously successful companies, so maybe they're not too worried about it. I will say the number one reason I will not buy an Android phone, and there was a great story that came out this week as well, didn't make it into the rundown, Verizon announcing a new bloatware app designed to suck up your data for targeted advertising, an app called App
They announce
Flash.
these things?
I don't know if they put out a press release, but somebody found out. Maybe legally they have to. I don't know. But it's called App Flash. It runs on Android, and it's designed to be a mobile search hub that will live a swipe to the left away from your home screen. And it says that it will collect information from the customer's mobile number, the device they're using, and the apps they have installed. With users' permission, it will also monitor their location and their contacts. All this will be shared with, quote, the Verizon family of companies, end quote, to help provide more relevant advertising.
Oh, good. So they're going to share with Oath, too.
With AOL and Yahoo, who both have giant advertising arms. You're exactly right.
That's what
Why
it
do you
means
think
to be
they bought
under
them?
Oath. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, then they'll get to sell all of our web browsing history to them. It's going to be great.
Yep.
Oh, Dan, they said they definitely won't do that.
Right.
They promised.
They're being
they
real polite
pinky
about it.
promised us.
Yeah, hey, Dan, they're afraid you'll run off to all the competitors you have access to. Oh, wait. They bought all of them. Oops. Yeah, so no, I'm blown away Google or Samsung lets them do shit like this. Like, for whatever little money Samsung or Google is getting out of this, Samsung probably more than Google, whatever little bit of money they're getting out of this, for me, cannot be worth the just bad press and the bad will they get out of doing something so stupid as that. Oh boy, you get 25 cents for every phone you sell. Good for you. Hope it was worth it. That really
Maybe people just don't care.
Oh, a lot of people don't care, and a lot of people won't know. They'll never know. They'll never know because they don't tell them, or they just click agree when it asks for their location because they don't know what it's asking them about. That's a big push in Android O when that comes out, is they want to have even more details around permissions and things like that. So no, I guarantee most people don't even know it's there. And if you go to delete it, you can't. You can't uninstall it.
Brutal. Wow.
I
wish I could be in these businesses.
That's it must be lucrative.
You probably could.
This is the Don't Panic app. I'm sure if we gave Verizon
Let me
a lot of
rephrase.
money,
I wish I could stomach being in a business like this.
we have too much
Sounds so
dignity,
easy.
too much respect to do that.
Right.
Instead, we'll get on our knees and beg and plead for people instead. We won't force it on you. We'll just make you feel guilty if you don't. Because that's what we're here for. Well, let's see how we're doing on time here. My goodness, we're just about out of time. Unless there's a story here you guys really want to talk about, we'll move on to picks. We've got a couple minutes, but I don't know if there was anything here real desperate to discuss.
I was just thinking about, like, thinking about this, like, Verizon thing and, like, the web stuff. Like, what if this like slow erosion of our privacy, what we see as the slow erosion of our privacy in the future is just seen as like the beginnings of like the melding of the single human consciousness. Like, we just network ourselves into one giant.
It took a while, but we did finally get to the singularity on Don't Panic.
Right.
And it will be brought to you by advertisers.
Right. By Oath.
Well, what was it? I always enjoyed that joke in Futurama where, advertisers can now pump ads directly into your dreams. Be like, we're really not far off from that, are we?
Someday, yeah. Alas.
all lass is right. Speaking of ads, we've got picks. So let's get to we do.
It's like an ad, except we don't get paid.
Well, we do if they click on Amazon and they buy it. I mean, we're
That's true.
dollar heirs here. We're rolling in pennies. So you can check that out. And I think we've got some good ones in here. I'm pretty excited. And we're gonna have cause I know Colby was just super jazzed about his, so we're gonna let him go first. What do you got this week, Colby?
Oh yeah, so earlier in the winter, I bought a pair of winter boots, and I was telling my co-hosts before we started the show, I was thinking back and like I don't think I ever owned like dedicated winter boots before. Like I've always owned like ankle high hiking boots or something, which to be clear work fine in the winter. I still have all my toes are still attached. And I spent some time outside in the snow, so that like bodes well. But I got like actual dedicated winter boots, and it was like a whole other world. Like they're so comfortable, and they're warm but not too warm, and they like you just like your feet like stay sort of the same temperature. It was totally crazy. So if you do spend time traipsing around in the snow at all, I feel like it might be worth it for you to look into one of these things. So I don't remember exactly I know the brand I got was Keen. I think it was the Wirecutters or the Sweet Homes pick for like their non-stylish winter boot pick. But yeah, it was good. They're kind of expensive. I'm assuming that they'll last for years. If they don't, I'm going to be really disappointed. That'll be crushing. But I don't know. If snow is a part of your life, winter boots might be the boots for you.
Very cool. Yeah, they look good. They're good looking shoes for winter boots.
Right. They're not.
You should see the stylish pick.
Yeah. I'm sure they're quite stylish. Next week I'll have to do a flip-flop pick for the people who live in the South who don't deal with the snow.
Right.
Counteract your programming.
Do they call them flip-flops down there?
I'll have to ask. I haven't asked. I very rarely wear them down here. I mostly wear my Nikes. Cuz it's a little too sweaty. It's a little too humid for flip-flops.
I keep forgetting that when we come visit you, Sean, I'm going to have to bring like shorts.
Yeah, double check the weather, because the weather,
okay.
You should be okay in shorts, but I will never forget, Colby, when I came out and visited you in San Francisco, and I brought all shorts and t-shirts, because I said, I'm going to California. Man, it's really warm and nice there. We're going to the beach. It's going to be great. No, went to San Francisco. It was fucking cold. So
especially in the summer, it was cold. It's cold
away.
In the summer. Like cold and cloudy.
I think it was colder than it was in Poughkeepsie. It was crazy. So no, we'll double check the weather. But yeah, no, it is definitely. I was sweating today. Actually, it was very humid. I was sweating a little bit today. So it will be
good to know.
Gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna go next, and we'll let Dan never gets to go last, so we'll let him go last. I've got a quick pick. I bought this actually almost exactly a year ago. And it's kind of one of those things Sean buys, but nobody else needs to buy. But still, I'm going to tell you it's great, and I really like it.
Should we have talked you out of it?
No, because this is actually pretty cheap, and I use this all the time. That's why I'm picking it. So this was a good purchase. I wanted something to hold my iPhone that wasn't a selfie stick, because I shoot not a lot, but some video with it. Sometimes for this, sometimes for other projects, or if you're on a really long FaceTime call, it's a good idea. So I picked up this. It is it's essentially an iPhone tripod. So what you can do is you take, and it's got this nice little kind of elastic thing, and you just take your iPhone, and it just sticks right in there real nice like that. Look at that. Isn't that something?
Beautiful.
And it's got a nice little handle, so you can hold it and kind of carry it around. It's got little legs, so it's also like a tripod, and it will sit nice on things. And my favorite part for when you're doing video production is the clip part will actually unscrew and screw onto any traditional tripod, like a real tripod. And I've shot video projects with this. Again, great for like long Skype calls or FaceTime calls. You can just set it down and leave it sitting there so you don't have to hold your phone. You don't realize all the uses for it until you have it. And it's a nice little stand. It's got all the little accessories, and it's only $15. So if you think you have a use for if you shoot video with your iPhone or even pictures and you just need a still way to kind of prop it up, this is an easy and cheap way to do this. There's like 100 of these on Amazon. I'm just going to put the link to the one I bought. I just picked one out. It had a lot of stars. So it's the Charger City multi-use handheld stabilizer pistol grip, the 1/4-20 tripod camera recording mount with universal smartphone holder bundle with micro SD memory card reader. But really, you can buy any of them. So
Wait, what was it again?
one more time. I will subject you and rewind the tape. But the link will be on our website at don'tpanic.io, and you can check it out there. A handy thing to have around the house. And Dan, maybe something to do on your phone while it's being held in the tripod. What do you got for us here?
Yeah, so I teased earlier that I picked an iPhone app. This app is by the same people who did Crossy Road. It's called Road Trip. So you drive in a car. The car is always moving forward at one constant speed, and you sort of weave through traffic, and you just try to go as far as you can. It's a fun time waster, but the best part is when you crash, all the cars, like everything goes crazy. The truck with all the logs on it behind you, like keels over, all the logs go flying. It crashes into this car with a bunch of stuff roped into the top of it. All those packages go everywhere. The fire truck comes and like explodes. It's crazy. So losing is very satisfying. Sometimes it's fun just to crash in the right way to cause the most amount of mayhem. So check out Road Trip on the iOS App Store.
And if I'm understanding this correctly, not only is it free, but it also doesn't have in-app purchases. I mean, it's actually free.
As far as I can tell, that's a good point, actually. You can watch ads to get like in-game money, which I have accidentally done twice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I haven't been asked to pay any money for anything, and it didn't cost anything. I think the icon did indicate though that they're in-app purchases. I wonder what that would be.
But either way, at least
But
you can start with it.
You don't need. There's nothing like. There's no timer or anything. I'm playing it right now. I don't feel any need to pay real money.
Well, while Dan is distracted with his phone, we'll conclude this this episode of Don't Panic. Thanks everybody for joining us. I hope you had as much fun as we did. Look at that. That doesn't look safe, Dan. It's dangerous. I want to do a couple quick plugs here before we wrap up. It pays to have friends, and sometimes you tell your friends, "Man, I wish I had a website that listed all of the shows we have on the networks," and then you have really good friends who just go on a whim and build them. So you can go to coffeeandbeer.tv. Colby built it, and it's really nice. And if you go there, it lists out all the shows on the network, including this show, Up for Debate, which later this week we'll be posting our 2017 summer movie draft, which was a lot of fun. These two guys played, along with a bunch of other characters. We drafted movies, very competitive, very exciting. You're going to want to watch that. Also, game nights. We're in the middle of a great Dungeons & Dragons quest at GameNights.tv. Follow along there. Another new episode of that will be coming out later this week as well. Of course, for this show, we do it live Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central at facebook.com/don'tpanicshow. I recommend you join us. It's fun. You saw we had some people chatting, asking questions, hanging out with us. That's half the fun. You can do it on the Facebook page, and of course, you can call in either live or after the fact and leave us a voicemail at 508-644-8324 is the phone number, of course. If you can't watch live, that's fine too, because we have a website, don'tpanic.io. You can get there, get every episode, audio, video, and the pics. The links will be there as well on the website. You know what? I just realized something, guys. I can't believe this. I never posted last week's episode because the website's broken.
Oh,
yeah, who made that website anyways?
A piece of shit.
Bunch of good for nothing.
Oh my god, why are we still recording these? I got one in the can we never even put out. All right, if you missed last week's, I'm sorry. We recorded it. It was pretty good, I thought. Maybe you'll never hear it. I don't know. But go to our website. We have 160 old episodes you can listen to, maybe this one. And, of course, you can subscribe all over the place on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, really anywhere you get podcasts. And, of course, the video is on YouTube. I don't need the website for that. So you can watch the latest videos at youtube.com/don'tpanicshow. That is it. We are done. On behalf of Colby and Dan, this is Sean, thanking each and every one of you for joining us and hoping we'll see you next time for even more